everybody. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. Today, we are broadcasting live from Cuyutlan in the state of Colima. As you have pretty much surmised, I have taken an impromptu getaway trip with some friends. I am staying at the wonderful Hotel La Villa here in Cuyutlan, which is about 5 hours south of Puerto Vallarta. But before we get into all of that, first of all, good morning, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the walk from yesterday. There was another walk to be scheduled for today, but I decided to change the order around. Quite frankly, I missed broadcasting. And I want to show you a little bit of my surroundings. And because I'm doing this with the iPad, we're going to be a little bit adventurous. So hold on just a second. Let me see if I can switch my camera so that I can show you the surroundings. Okay. So I don't know. I hope you can hear me, but this is this beautiful hotel. We are here, and there's the swimming pool, and there's the ocean, and the beach. The sand is black because we're very near from a volcano, and there's I don't have photos to show you just yet, but this is where we're staying. It's a very, very cute little hotel. Let me switch my camera again. Hold on just a second. And I think that worked just fine. So anyhow, a bit of what has gone on is the day of the eclipse. We were able to see the eclipse without a problem. Then we got on the road and we drove south. We passed Boca de Tomatlan, and we passed, we passed El Tuito. We continued driving south, and we passed Careyes, and we entered the new state, and now we are here. I will tell you a little bit about this town. It's really fascinating to learn about it. Cuyutlan has been, well, first of all, the business here. Oh, Betsy Ann has a question. She says, how close to Manzanillo? Manzanillo is north, actually. We passed Manzanillo, and we continued driving for about 45 minutes. So we are oh, thank you very much, Daniel. I was wanting to make sure that you guys can hear me okay. We passed Manzanillo, and we drove for about another hour, almost another hour to get to Cuyutlan. I will have a map and everything to show you when I get back to Vallarta. But it's fascinating because there's a similarity between San Sebastián del Oeste and this town. If you remember, San Sebastián del Oeste was a very successful mining destination at the turn of the 20th century. San Sebastián del Oeste had a population of about 20,000, and then the ore depleted and everybody went away, and all of a sudden, boom, population went down to 2,000, and it has remained like that for most of the 20th century. Well, here, keep in mind that the local business is sea salt. In fact, Cuyutlan produces some of the finest sea salt in the world. And this has been going on for over 500 years. So picture yourselves 1900. There is a thriving population. Mexico has just installed a railroad system, and there are posters, or well, not posters, but there are ads on the newspapers at the time to come and spend vacation at the new town of Cuyutlan. So this town used to have a huge number of hotels, and you walk down the boardwalk, and for whatever reason, the hotels have gone into disrepair. It's almost like a ghost town. Because the people that were enamored with this place got older. And once they got older, their sons and grandchildren lost interest or maybe thought in favor of other destinations. So walking around today, you see many very basic hotels, but you also see a lot of houses and buildings in disrepair. What does that mean? that a new breed of investors have chosen to come here and make a better life. And one of those investors is a couple, my dear friends David and Scott, who came here and took over a dilapidated building. You know, I mean, it wasn't kind of an operation, but they fixed it up. They opened a small little boutique hotel, and the small little boutique hotel is absolutely wonderful. And I'm going to have them join me in a minute. But first, just to make sure that we deliver, let me take a quick look on my phone at some of the latest headlines that I've been reading over the past couple of days. Some of them are serious and some of them are really amusing. For starters, well, people are still talking about the the Gabi situation, but of course nobody has published anything specific about it. But then I saw this news item that really cracked me up because I don't know how much of this is real. The other day, I was telling you about some of the promises that mayor candidate Luis Munguia is making for the people in Puerto Vallarta, and now I'm reading that he is proposing an elevated train. Get this. According to Munguia, we could have an elevated train going through the city if he wins the mayor position. So, you know, we'll just keep jotting down all these promises to see if they happen or if they don't happen. I also read an interesting follow up. Apparently, the interim mayor has found out that people were commenting on the piss smelling public bathrooms in public restrooms in the access to the beach in Playa Las Glorias. And the mayor has committed to reopening the restrooms. Yeehaw. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, we also reported on the fact that Transportes Medina, the bus company that brings workers from Puerto Vallarta to Nayarit and vice versa, they were supposed to be racing their tickets, and this has happened, but apparently the race is not lawful. So a number of buses have been stopped because they're not supposed to raise their prices. It's an illegal price hike, and and that's pretty much what I see that is going on with news in Puerto Vallarta. I will be so very happy to tell you more about the news when I come back. Now, let me take a quick look at your comments to see if I see anything interesting here. And I'm going to wait for Scott, one of the owners of the hotel, to join me. Oh my God, he's here.
I'm here. I'm in the middle of breakfast service.
You're
with
in the
our
middle.
guests, but I am here for you and your viewers.
Hey guys, this is Scott. He's one of the owners of this beautiful little boutique hotel. Scott, I know that you're in the middle of your breakfast shift, but do you have 2 seconds to tell the viewers a little bit about how this project came about?
Well, you know, it's been relatively fast. David and I got this property open in October of last year, so we're in our first 6-7 months of operations. It has exceeded our expectations in terms of how we've been embraced by the local community and the visitors to Cuyutlan. Cuyutlan, I think I heard you tell a little bit about the history. It's presently experiencing a revival. And so David and I have been able to bring sort of an upscale hotel expression, a boutique hotel. We're only 6 rooms, a nice little elegant restaurant, and a beautiful beach club to really give guests in Cuyutlan an upscale option that they're wanting. So we've been encouraged and have nothing but love and appreciation for the community that's welcomed us. I'm not an active Spanish speaker, so I'm glad to be on your English-speaking radio show because I don't get to practice my English much anymore.
but I get a sense that, you know, English-speaking tourists and Spanish-speaking tourists just, you know, share the space comfortably and they have a good time.
They do. We're pet friendly. I would say close to 90% of our guests are Spanish speaking only. They come from Guadalajara. They come in from Colima. It's an easy drive now. Now that when the passenger train, as you were saying, sort of stopped, the community sort of dried up. But now that we have a beautiful highway between Guadalajara and the coast, this is now actually the closest beach town because you can get to Guadalajara in 2.5 hours. And so it really facilitates a lot of folks that don't want to do the sort of northern pass to Nayarit to really come down to Colima and experience the revival here in Cuyutlan.
Yeah. So just imagine, folks, if you are 2.5 hours from the beach from Guadalajara, I mean, a lot of people are starting to come here. I mean, Manzanillo has always been there, but this is a quaint, cute, little, quiet, perfect place to have a small vacation.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Is there anything that you want to impress upon the viewers that they may want to know?
I think that it's definitely. I know a lot of your folks are in Jalisco and in the PV, the greater PV area. It's a relatively quick, beautiful drive. It's about 5 hours.
5 hours, yes, yeah.
It's a nice scenic drive. It's a perfect place to spend 2 or 3 days, a nice long weekend. It's what is it? It's Wednesday, and the hotel.
I think
the hotel is booked up. The middle of the week on the weekends. It's a great little town. Now, you can also, spend a couple nights here. I'd also encourage people to take a look at Colima. Colima is, as I understand it, maybe the second or third oldest sort of city in Mexico. A lot of history, a lot of important points about the Mexican Revolution at the turn of the century happened in Colima. In fact, Cuyutlan was the capital of Benito Juarez's government for two nights.
Yes, yes, I read that.
While he stayed here in Cuyutlan and was trying to raise the support in Manzanillo. So we've also got the volcanoes here in Colima. We've got the biosphere here in Colima. It's a lot slower than PV.
We love that.
And it's certainly less crowded. But if you're looking to sort of experience an authentic side of the Mexican Pacific coast, come on down to Colima, and we'd love to have you here in Cuyutlan.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to interrupt your breakfast shift anymore. I'll make sure to give everybody contact information. Yes. Thank you so very much, Scott, and congratulations on the project.
Thank you for staying with us.
Yeah. So this is what we have. This is where we're at. And it is a beautiful, wonderful place. Let me take a quick look at some of your comments just to see what is going on here. And I have to take my we're broadcasting from the iPad, and I'm learning all kinds of things. Like I had prepared a big show and tell document that I cannot present from the iPad. So my note to self is, if I'm going to do this in the future, we have to bring the laptop. I am loving some of your comments. Oh, Mijal, you guys would love it here. Claudio, Lucas, Lars, and I are having a wonderful time. Luisa says the view is amazing. Luisa, you and Luke would love this place, and it should be a very easy access from Guadalajara, and that's what everybody's telling me. Let's see what else we have. Oh, and if I haven't made this clear, I've missed you guys. It's like I scheduled a walk for yesterday, then I scheduled a walk for today, but halfway through the vacation I was like, no, I gotta connect. So tomorrow we're gonna have another pre-recorded walk, but today I wanted to make sure that I connected with you guys. And of course we'll be back on Friday morning live from Casa Chaos. I miss Luna. Let's see more comments. Let's see, Jorgito, my friend Jorge from Tepic. You guys would love it here. I love the fact that you're here. Luisa laughs at the promises by Luis Munguia. Logan, is it just me, or does Luis Munguia's entire candidacy sound like something straight out of a Dia de los Inocentes broadcast? I had that thought myself, and I thought it was absolutely funny because, if he makes at least half of those promises come true, I suppose we'll be in a better place, but if he doesn't, we'll just have to see. Gary says the situation with Ecuador is interesting and confusing. Yes, it is. We haven't talked about this. If you guys are curious about what's happening between the government of Mexico and the government of Ecuador, please write the word Ecuador in your comments, and I'll be happy to bring you up to speed on Friday morning. And Charles adds to the whole situation with Gavi's that interim mayor, says that businesses must adhere to the city's anti-noise law. And I saw that statement in the news, and I found it rather silly because the city has never really enforced this. So for the local government, and this is purely my opinion, so don't, it's just the way I see it. Um, it's I think the government's position is a cop out because they've never really enforced this. So again, until we know more about what's going on with the situation, it's difficult to comment on it. Let's see. Uh, well, my friend David is the chef here, and David is from Colombia, and he is an amazing cook. So everything he has provided for us has been absolutely wonderful and delicious. Let's see what else we have. Um, uh-oh. Luisa says, Chachalaca is coming. Have the bar ready. I love it. I love it. And Mark says, was wondering how you determine if the business will be successful in out of the way places. Well, I cannot answer for Scott because he's serving breakfast right now, but having conversations with him and another friend that has invested in property here. In fact, you know him because I talk about it very frequently. This would be Eric, the owner of the Joint Hotel, has also invested in property here. I think it's a matter of keeping the eyes open. I mean, the cost of property down here is crazy inexpensive when compared to Puerto Vallarta. Look at the fact that there is a new airport being built halfway through here in Puerto Vallarta. In terms of connectivity to this place, there's the airport in Manzanillo. There's another airport in Colima City. They're both about an hour away from here. There's new highways connecting with Guadalajara. So this may or may not be a very connected place for people coming from north of the border. But trust me, Mexican tourism is alive and well and happy to have this place. And I'm sure that people that own their own vehicle will also be able to get here without a problem. In terms of public transportation, it's a little tricky. As Scott mentioned, once train travel stopped happening to this town, and today we're walking to the original train terminal, which is still there. I'm dying to take some photos of it. Um, it's a gamble. It's a gamble. Stan comments, your presentation for the Mass for the Departed was amazing. Can't wait for more. Well, Stan, you've already seen it, but we're going to do this presentation live online this coming Friday. If anybody wants to watch it, you are more than welcome. It's been announced, and I'll be happy to mention it again on Friday morning so that you know where to go and how much it is and all that good stuff. Let's see. Karen says, this establishment sounds wonderful. Thank you, Scott, for joining us. You must be very proud of what you have accomplished in a short amount of time. Much success is wished for you. Scott is smiling from afar as he is serving breakfast dishes to a lovely family that is here from Guadalajara. I see a number of you mentioning the word Ecuador, so I'll bring you up to speed on Friday. The short of it is Mexico has ended diplomatic relations with Ecuador after, I believe it's the vice president of Ecuador was seeking asylum in Mexico, and he was um, he was at the Mexican embassy in Ecuador, and the police entered the embassy. I forget if it's an embassy or a consulate, but the local police entered by force, which violates United Nations treaties, and took the vice president away. And of course, we don't know why they took him away. We don't know what that is about, but I'll do some research. But the bottom line is, embassies are supposed to be safe places. So, as a result of that, Mexico ended relations with Ecuador, and this has resonated internationally. And again, I'll bring you up to speed on Friday. Samuel, muchas gracias. Love the show, Paco. Oh my God, that's live from Facebook. We usually don't broadcast live on Facebook, But it's nice to see that we have at least one comment from Facebook Live. And Liz says, fascinating. That's flattering. I don't know exactly what you find fascinating, but I think it's absolutely wonderful. Oh, and Samuel is watching us from Sacramento, California. Good for you, Samuel. And thank you for joining us live on YouTube. Again, this is not something that I do on a regular basis, but because the software allows it, it is a lot easier to go live in the two platforms. And this, my friends, pretty much brings me to the end of today's broadcast. I had wished that I would be able to show you some photos for you to see what is going on down here, but unfortunately, that is not possible with the technology that I brought along with me. The good news is that it's always a learning opportunity, and this is what we have done on this trip. So, tomorrow morning, yesterday, I took you walking down Francisco Medina Ascension. You got to see some of the progress in the construction. A couple of weeks ago, we started walking Colonia Versalles again, and I took you down Francia Street. So tomorrow morning, there's going to be another walk. This time, it's going to be along Vienna Street, which is part Colonia Versalles and part Colonia Diaz Ordaz, for you to see what's going on there. And Friday morning, we will be back live from my home. And that's when I will bring you more interesting stuff. So, I'm itching to show you photos and video. I will be taking more photos and video today. And of course, tomorrow. Oh, and we're going to go at some point, I hope. Keep my fingers crossed. We're going to go feature the salt mines, like the place where they actually dry out the seawater, and it is magically, well, I don't know how it's done, but we're going to find out. They turn it into salt, and salt is a currency here. It has been for 500 years. I can't wait to find out the whole story. So this brings us to the end of today's broadcast. I'm sorry it's not as polished as it usually is, but we are improvising, and I, as always, appreciate the license that you give me to get away from my desk and my home every now and then to charge some energy. I thank you for your support, as always, and I look forward to seeing you again live on Friday morning. Take care and have a great hump day. Before I forget, one important announcement. Needless to say, we're away, so the Spotlight is taking a break this week, but the Spotlight will be back live a week from today at 4 o'clock. Have a great day, and I'll see you on Friday.